Go on then. Live. Hello, everybody. What's happened to Cole? He's gone into a tunnel. Welcome to episode 355 of Let's Try It Out. We're all here. Jack's not here still. Unfortunately, he's still poorly from his operation, so get well soon, Jack. Stephen is allegedly on holiday with his other half, although whereas most of us would like try and sneak one quad there, he's taken a backpack with 4 of them. So I don't know if it's so much a holiday with the other half as opposed to a flying trip.
Flying trip.
So today we've got Cole, our Canadian bacon, who's going to be doing some live action driving.
Yes.
We've got, get the angle right. Tony down there. No, Tony down. No, over here. Tony's there. who's Jack's lovely wife, we should point out. And I'm everybody's favourite curry kitten, but I say that, but only 2 people turned up, so I don't think I am everybody's favourite curry kitten. I'm just curry kitten. So, first order of business, I'll turn my fan off so it's not making a noise. We've just learned that the reason Cole is in the car is because he had to go to the dentist, and the reason he's in the car is he had the same dentist since childhood, and he's now moved 3 hours away from the dentist, but has chosen a 6-hour round trip rather than simply get a new dentist. And this is because, of course, dentists don't exist in the major metropolitan city that you live in, because that wouldn't right, yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, once you get used to your dentist, it's hard to cheat on them. You know, you gotta stay loyal. No, I don't know.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
We'll ask the first question. Has anybody been flying this week? I have. Yay, Tony has.
But it was it was DJI flying, so it wasn't really flying. I pushed the camera around the sky.
The giant eyeball round the sky. Was it a professional job? You didn't do it for fun, did you?
I did it for fun. I did it for my kayaking trip that I just posted a couple of days ago. So I took the
I don't know if you guys can.
I took the drone and it was constant wind all weekend, so I had to get up. Well, I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning anyway, because I stayed in a fort, slept in a fort.
I saw the thumbnail.
Yeah,
I haven't watched the video yet.
I got our friend Cole to do the thumbnail for me. Yeah, and I just got up. The wind was just constant all night, and in the morning I just thought, sod it, I want some drone footage, so I took it up and took some of the fort, and then the Sunday it died down a bit, and then I went and found the U-boat, the submarine.
Cool.
Well.
Were you tempted to do like a follow me mode while you kayaked and just have it up above you?
Too scared. Well, we weren't on a river. Well, it was a river Medway, but it was like the estuary, so it was wide. It was like the sea, basically.
Just catch it as it comes down. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I didn't take the dog. At some points of it, I was scared. So yeah, I did fly, but it was only DJI Mini 2, which was brand new because I got one sent to me, didn't I? I got a replacement.
I did not know that. Did you get?
Yeah, well,
did you get the posh controller and stuff with the screen on it?
No, that's the Mini 3. I still want to get
it's
that,
the Mini 2, isn't it?
Yeah, I had the Mini 2 and it fell out the sky, and I sent it back to DJI and said, look, I've had this and it fell out the sky. It wasn't me. And they were like, we're going to bill you this much. And I was like, well, I'll send you the flight details then, and you can see it was a hardware failure, which I did. And then a week later they said, yeah, you're right, we'll send you a whole new one boxed. So they did. What do you want? Come on then. So yeah, that was the first time sort of flying that.
Oh, that's cool. And it didn't fall out of the sky, but I understand why you may have been a bit nervous.
Yes, that was the first DJI thing that's ever failed on me. Really?
Huh. That's interesting to hear. I've had many DJI failures, unfortunately, across drones and camera stabilizers, actually.
Really?
Yep. Actually, my very first quad, I want to call it a quad now because I fly FPV drones, but my first drone ever was a Phantom 3, I think it was called a Phantom 3 SE. It was basically the dumbed down version of the Phantom 3 Pro. And I got that one. It only had transmission over Wi-Fi, so the range wasn't that great. It was a great drone otherwise, but I wanted a little bit more range out of it. And this is back in about 2015 time. So I sold that one, upgraded, and got the Phantom 3 Pro. Well, right off the bat, right out of the box, I was having gimbal horizon issues. So sent it to DJI in California, got it back, and the horizon seemed to be fixed, but then my camera was out of focus. And those cameras on those drones are a fixed focal whatever. So there's no autofocus or anything built in. It's just
Right.
a single focus point. Sent it back to them. They fixed the camera, and then the gimbal issue was there again. So it was just this whole back and forth. Yeah.
No, no, you'd have to go down there a little.
So
Mate.
Clive is saying he got his X-Class in the air for the first time since October. Tony, you were away last week because you were up at
Mine's
Fossil
not
Stuff.
flying.
Oh, did you get... Because you had to get the frame replaced because you set fire to yours. Happens. And you needed to get a replacement flight controllers. Have you got that yet?
That come through the post today.
Oh,
So
right.
we armed it, and it armed. We've changed the frame, changed the arms, everything. Put it all back together, new PDB. Armed it, and she span up, and we didn't think nothing of it. So we carried on building her, got it all ready, and then arm it, give it some throttle, nothing.
Sure.
It armed, and that's all it did. Nothing else. Lifted it up, moved it around, didn't do anything. And then the FC went pop, and that was it. So fingers crossed, Danny has got and saved my PIDs and everything, which hopefully I'm going to put the same flight controller on, and which Clive actually sent to Fossil, and Fossil's just sent to me. And hopefully we can get the old firmware on and the same PIDs and stuff. So it'll, I've got a week to get it ready, and before Wings and Wheels is next weekend, isn't it?
That's not far away. Yeah, you've got to get that fixed pretty quick then.
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, you're running it on like Betaflight 3.1 something or some old firmware like that seems better on these big beasties.
Yeah, old firmware seems to be old is gold. So yes,
Yep.
I've got my tickets, but don't know if I'm flying yet because the X-Class is back in bits basically. So it might happen, it might not. But I'm going to Wings and Wheels, whatever. If I can't fly, I can't fly. I'm going to go and just enjoy myself and say hello to everyone. So
yeah, that's a start.
Yeah.
And I am just looking for... Oh, I've got too many tabs open. I'm just looking for a screen to share. Bear with me. With you in a minute. Here we go. And Betaflight 430, we were just talking about it last week. And look, it's finally out, which is super exciting. Has anybody tried it yet?
Mm-mm.
No, me neither. Caroline's saying she took one of my quadcopters for free, took a couple of days to get her first tune. I've read through this, and there's an awful lot of changes and lots of sliders and things like that. I think I might just have to take a quad and install it and just see what happens, see if it's an utter disaster. But I suppose that's quite exciting, the fact they've actually brought it out. Any chance that might just magically work with X classes now you've got these sliders to play with? You're not going to try it, are you? Not going to risk it?
No. I haven't even turned Betaflight. I haven't turned Betaflight on or Kiss or anything for probably 2 years. I've not plugged the quad into Betaflight or Kiss for about 2 years. So
well, if it works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Oh, Numbskull saying his attempts at RC43 ended up with 2 smoked AOs. Eek, that's not good.
Ooh. Well, I read. I'm not sure if this is for this release, but I read something about the new firmware acting funky with the new gyros that everybody's using. Maybe that's because you know how the shoot, I can't remember the names of them right now. But now it seems like the old standard is kind of out the window now, and there's new gyro on the block, and apparently one of the releases kind of was talking strangely with the new gyros. So I don't know if that's resolved or not, but
Well, I'm not attempting it then.
I didn't hear that, but there was a lot of different stuff in, and it's kind of like they have this thing about 4.3 has a new sliding approach in presets due to parameter trade changes. Do not pay CLI diff or dumps from previous versions. It's kind of like everything you know previously about Betaflight, ignore that and start from scratch, which is a little bit scary. And there's just, I mean, that's the major things, and then the what's changed is all this bit. Here's your improvements. It's just the feature list is so huge. It just goes on and on and on. Fixes. It's a lot. It's an awful lot. There's like so much in there. Yeah, I'm slightly worried, but I suppose might give it a try, see what it's like. It just, yeah, as I said before, my complaint generally around Betaflight is its over complexity about stuff. It just needs to be kept a bit more simple. But
But that would be
I
a
guess
KISS
we'll see what happens.
board then, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Just
if
be
you
like
can
me
afford that
and
sort of
get
stuff.
it and be on KISS V1 in 2022.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I've got some KISS V1s in 2022.
Hey, they fly great. I mean, from what I know, at least, I don't have a ton of experience with a ton of flight controllers, but it does what I need it to.
They're making it,
find-
like you say, they make it too complicated, too much stuff on it to muck around with. You just need it to do one thing, and that's fly okay.
Well, yeah, I think essentially everybody, especially people like us that we fight to get our sort of precious few flights in during a week. Sometimes it's like what you don't want to be doing is poncing about with software. You want to be out flying and having fun, not like, oh, I need to fiddle about with this, or I need to read what this filter does and I don't understand it. It's like almost like the good old days when people just used to say, could you post your PIDs please, because that was the only thing you would change, just the PIDs. And now it's like, oh, forget it, you have to do a full dump before you know anything about it. I myself went out and flew a quad. That was exciting. I was trying to make the run cam fun work again.
Oh yeah, I watched your video of it, just like raw. Not good.
So since that point, I changed the mount to the TPU one, which is better. And I was trying to play with Gyroflow because everybody seems to be like, "Oh, Gyroflow is like it's the second coming of Christ" or whatever. And it's like it's really weird. When you say you're doing a big turn and you turn too far, and it's like, "Oh, I need to overcorrect," so you sort of roll back or something, and then you carry on. It's really good at that. So instead of getting like this movement, it just translates that into this nice smooth movement. But on like straights, it was putting in bumps that weren't there. So it was introducing shake on it and then smoothing out the big turns. It seems to me, unless you're absolutely buttery smooth to start with, then it seems to. Is Cole getting road raged?
You dropped your $5. You dropped $5.
Wow, that is so Canadian. Everybody else would have just got out and taken the money.
It's up the street up this way.
I wouldn't have cared. Oh God!
Yeah,
got it
this kid's $5 is tumbling down the road. Sorry, guys.
You dropped your $5.
That's a lot of money in Kanakistan.
Yeah, £2.50. I see Caroline saying that she'd bought a second peanut camera because she started getting fed up with trying to mess with Gyroflow. I feel the pain there. I'm going to give it one more shot, and I'm going to try moving the thumb to a smaller quad, something like a 3-inch, 2.5-inch, because I'm wondering if it's like either the speed of it, because it's quite a fast 5-inch, or perhaps there's like an oscillation frequency of the 5-inch props that it's not nice. I mean, it's not like smaller quads don't vibrate, but they vibrate in a slightly different way, and perhaps that can be absorbed.
Probably
but
higher
the most
frequency.
interesting thing about the flight is I did like 3 flights. And they were quite long because they were like 8 minutes a piece. It's really good quad. It's good at spending a long time in the air. On my last flight, I noticed a woman walking a dog up the side of the field, and I was like, oh, I'll keep away from there because there's a person. And it was like she had to walk like 2 whole fields down to sort of get out of there. And I packed up all my stuff and that, and then I had to walk through the cows. If you saw the Instagram video, basically I'm followed about by all these cows. They can be slightly scary. Cows generally sort of follow you, and then occasionally they got excited and I start hearing like running, and I have to sort of turn around and stop now, and then they all sort of stop and just look at you like it wasn't me. But I noticed from right down like 2 fields away that there was a woman stood right at the other end of the gate with her dog, and I didn't really notice. I played it back in the DVR to know it was her, and I was like, oh, why has she stopped there? And it took me like a good 10-15 minutes to walk all the way through the fields to get to where she was standing. And just for a sort of split second I was like, oh, maybe she's a fan. Wants to talk to me. Just for a split second, and then I thought, 50-year-old women aren't my current demographic. I think YouTube currently scores me as a 0% for women.
She was the first person to buy the sim.
Yeah, sure enough, I got there, and I've got my backpack on. It's got quads on. I'm holding a big wing, walking up to climb over this fence, and she says, "Excuse me, were you flying a drone?" And it would have been funny just to like answer no, but remembering that conversation about that really annoying bloke from last week, I decided to be really nice and say, "Oh yeah, I was." And she said something really specific. She said, "Who on the farm has given you permission to fly in that field?" And it just so happens that this field is owned by my sister-in-law and her husband. So I was quite confident I had permission. So I said to her, "Oh, Nikki and Graham." And then she looked at me absolutely bemused, like as if to say, "Who is that?" And I was like, "They're the people that own the field. They're in that farm there." And she goes, "Oh." I said, "Is that okay?" And she said, "Yes, I was just wondering." But I don't think she believed me, because even though I walked into the farm next to the tractor to put the stuff in my car, I saw her peeking through the fence as if to say, that's not his car. He's bluffing. He's gone into the farm."
I love it.
But that was funny. I don't know where she was coming from, really.
She's a private eye.
Yeah, she just wants to inspect to see if people have permission. It's a weird one though, isn't it? Because even if I didn't have permission in that field, and I'm sure my brother-in-law, who does own a shotgun license, would have a point of view, but there is a public right of way that runs through another field, and it's quite hard to sort of police that and say you're not allowed to fly here, and certainly random passers-by who decide that they want to investigate who's given permission to who, and people have come up to me before and say, "Do you have permission to fly here?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I need explicit permission. Also, who do I ask?"
Yeah.
And I don't know what they want to hear from me. It's like, "Oh no, I'll leave," but like, "No, I don't, but I don't seem to need it." It seems to slightly confuse them, and because sometimes they say, "Oh, well, there's a lot of ground nesting birds around here." This is on my previous site, because I was like, "Well, sucks for them when the buildings gets put up in a couple of months, doesn't it?" It's like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm not going around all the grass kicking birds. But
some people just like a moan up, don't they? And ask, want to know what you're doing.
Well, yeah, that's one of the problems I've run into, is that sometimes people are a little nosy and they try to assert some level of what's the word?
Dominance.
I guess dominance, or that, I'm governing this area. What are you doing in this neighborhood or whatever? It's like,
it's normally Karens.
Yes.
No,
I think she might fall under that. But yeah, it's like, as Caroline sort of pointed out there, it's nobody gave her explicit permission to walk her dog through that field, but she felt like she could. But that's just people. But I have noticed a change when I first started flying 10 whole years ago now, and I had my tricopter, which did look like a freakish thing. That? Then people were like really interested. They're like, "Wow, what's this? This looks amazing!" And I show them it, and they're like, "This is keep going, do what you do." They were just amazing to see it. And now it's like, is that a drone? And you like to be polite, and you don't like to sort of argue and say, "Well, I would have called it a multicopter," or "Are you talking about the wing here?" Because I didn't actually fly that one; it wasn't working. But that's just the media for you. You can't fly a drone.
And you walk off with "Let's Drone Out" written on your jumper.
I should have had my "Fly Like a Pussy" t-shirt on.
Funny. Western Park this weekend, isn't it? Anyone going? I'm not.
I'm not going. I'm away.
Again?
It's accompanying my wife on a work trip to Barcelona.
Oh, lovely. I do love Barcelona. It's a very nice place.
I've never been there.
Oh, you should like it. It's really nice.
I have to be on best behaviour and not get drunk and puke over her.
Start fights and stuff.
Yeah.
This is the problem I have with testing the X class, because we haven't. I didn't rejoin my flying field, because they literally put a shepherd's hut in the middle of it and was like, "Oh, on a Saturday there's a family staying there, so don't fly near it, don't do this." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not joining again. It's too much. Can't be bothered." So I didn't bother joining. But now I've got an X class to try to. I know what's going to happen. It's going to be built, and then it's going to be tested on the day we have to fly them down the track, which would be fun.
I still think that Tony's viral video would be trying to hover your X-Class and you're just behind you there and watching everything like fall off the walls and explode and sit on fire.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Even if it did go viral, it's not happening. Not happening.
Where's Cole going? Where are you going?
Get his teeth done.
No, teeth are done. We are off to, well, just running a few errands, but I'm still here, I swear. And we have another guest.
We're so sorry to interrupt your day with this pesky show.
No, I'm happy to be here. I just, not the best sit-down environment at the moment, but that's fine.
We could have you as a roving reporter, Cole. So the next person you run into, you have to go up to them and say, "Hey, do you have a drone? Do you like drones? Would you like to have a drone flying around your person, or do you feel like it's impacting your privacy?"
Yeah, I can start taking polls out here. Yeah.
Oh, Jack.
Oh, look.
Jack's in the chat.
In the chat, you must be feeling at least a little bit better.
I reckon he pressed his button a few times, gave himself some morphine and pressed...
Got the old morphine button going.
He done it when he rings me. He's like, "Oh, for God's sake, it's Tony ringing. Press my button. Ugh."
I think he's got it linked as like a little job for your home automation. Inject me with morphine when Tony calls.
Yeah.
Alexa, set up a task. That sort of thing.
Yeah. Press my button when Tony rings. Hope you're alright, mate.
In Canada, you still have to wear masks.
Yep.
We seem to have dropped it completely here. We just get COVID and stuff instead.
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah, it's
yeah.
What else is happening? Let me share another little screeny thing. It's always a bad idea to have 600 Chrome tabs open when you're trying to share something. But we had this interesting picture that Frank sent us a little bit ago. This is one of those special super duper. We're just going to mute you, Cole, because we can hear chatter. Yeah, the British Army Watchkeeper UAV crashed after taking off from an RAF base and handily landed in the water. And we got some details about this, didn't we? It seems like they pretty much lost signal, and there's this big red button that says shut down the aircraft instead of
It's
return to home or
ridiculous,
something.
isn't it? Look, 7 of them have gone into the
Yeah.
drink.
This is like what they pay 1.2 billion for 24 of them, and they've already lost 7 of them.
I bet us lot could do a better job, even with my
I
chewing gum and
bid
sticky
500
tape.
million. I said I could do it for 500 million, at least as good as this. It
Yeah.
would be hard to cock it up anymore, wouldn't it?
Is it people not knowing what they're doing, or what?
It's hard to say because it's always a slightly crowded in secrecy, isn't it? Especially with drone flying and like Forces stuff. It's either the hardware's crap, although you'd expect a certain amount of autonomy over something that weighs this much and, you know, can clearly kill crowds of people if it lands in them, or it's poor training. Are the people that are flying them, are they like proper pilots, or are they just like, here's a control, sort yourself out? And he's like, Sarge, what does this light mean? It's, hold it above your head, lad. Come on, get the signal back. I don't know what's going on. I can't believe there's a button that says shut plane down in midair instead of a button that says make plane
Come
circle
home.
around or make plane come back and land.
Hmm.
Because these are supposed to be like super advanced aircraft, and they just crashed into the sea.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? Is it because it says British Army watchkeeper UAV? Is it a British made thing, or?
That I don't know. I don't know if normally with these things there's whenever there's like, you know, the forces want some sort of UAV or something, there's all these companies that put in bids and stuff, and at some point, you know, they end up like spending like $6,000 on like a little foam aircraft. I think we've seen those sort of pictures, and it's like, oh, that's quite expensive. And I don't know if it's the fact that it's literally buy from the cheapest bidder. And they said, yeah, do all that, yeah. I can just imagine the salespeople must be amazing. It's like, does it do this? Absolutely. How much is it? 1.2 billion for 20, and we're throwing 4 for free. And, you know, if 1 out of 3 crashes, that's not bad going. I don't know. I don't know if this is developed like British. They all look the same, don't they? These military UAVs. They've all got that shape to them. So I don't know if there's this one company, like I think like didn't Boeing do some or something.
No,
but
I don't know.
It's a mess. It's not good. But I also had another story. I've been collecting stories today because I knew we were light on people and light on stuff. And I saw something on the good old BBC News website, which I'm now scrolling down my 600 Chrome tabs to try and find it. Why can't I find it? That's not it. That's not it. There it is. This one. How many times have we seen a story about Amazon will begin drone deliveries this year? But what I thought was interesting about this is I haven't actually seen this design, but when I checked it out, and it's called the Mark 27-2, so they've at least had 26 of them, I guess. It sort of got demoed in 2019, and at first when I looked at it, I wasn't sure if it was designed to, like, you know, stop decapitating children, and that's why that thing's round it. But it seems like they're trying to use some of it as a kind of wing. So when they take off, they put it in forward flight, and that wing sort of helps it a bit, and it sort of carries it along a bit. I've actually got some video of this doing it, which I thought was also quite interesting.
Does it say how much of the payload, what it can carry?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's quite small.
It's really hard to say because they don't really show it against sort of scale.
No, actually,
I like the fact it's got this thing up it saying not simulated. It's like, this is real life, but it kind of flies. It doesn't transfer into like a plane. It's obviously just like a hex doing forward flight. But because it's got these sort of wing areas, I guess it's more efficient and they get a bit more range out of it.
This actually looks like it's flying all right.
Yeah, it looks like it flies okay, but this is like 3 years old, and I don't know what's happened suddenly to actually get drone deliveries going. I think when I last checked, like the payload was like 1 to 2 kilograms or something like that. Not huge. And I'm still slightly confused about how it gets dropped off and what sort of property you'll need. I always thought the Amazon drone delivery, a bit like Google and everybody else, was a bit of a publicity stunt, saying, look what we're doing. Aren't we an amazing tech company? We can fly stuff around. And Gubbins, is this the delivery or is it just landing? Oh, it's just landing. And this is when you attack it with bats and get your free.
Well, there you go. You get your free
gear.
thing, and you get parts for your quad.
Yeah, they say it's gonna go live this year, and they've got the actual what is it? The FFA in the US? FAA?
Oh, FAA, yep.
Yeah, they've got like approval to do stuff, like basically fly or autonomous and stuff. Or I don't know if there was like a control.
People are going to just shoot it down. Imagine it flying over Texas. People just be. People just shoot it down. Nick whatever's getting delivered, food, whatever. Nick parts, and it just won't happen. I can't see it happening.
No, and Caroline's saying, how will it deliver to blocks of flats? And of course, it won't. And that's why I want to know what is the criteria for your delivery, because either you need you must have 1/2 acre of land, and you have to draw this special target on it so we can make it recognise that and drop down, because otherwise, it's not going to do very well, is it? Because you can't have it going over urban area. Could you imagine that in London? It's like how long before it kills its first person? Just by coming down or smashes into things or anything. But yeah.
I mean, in theory, it's a great idea, but in practice, might not be the same.
It's an okay idea. I still, people get very excited by the idea of a drone delivery, but it's very inefficient, isn't it? We know the range of these things compared to let's say an automated vehicle of some sort. That could do it, and we don't trust cars to self-drive, and I don't think I trust massive hexacopters to self-fly around either.
No.
Well, I don't mind them flying around. I just don't want them trying to land and delivering things.
I think it's a good idea to do something like delivering blood and things like that from one hospital to another. Where they can fly and they have a pre-programmed route and. Yeah,
but you're going from one special area on top of a hospital where helicopters often go, and you're flying some emergency stuff to another one, and you're plonking down. The other place it comes in handy is, I think they've dropped off a defibrillator in one place, and they can drop off life-saving equipment for people out at sea. It's like, here, have a floaty thing. I think they'd prefer someone to swim out and rescue them, but can't be all bad. And there's some great stuff they do in automatic flight. One of the things they do in Australia is they fly along, and they've got AI that automatically picks out if there's sharks in the area, and they can feedback and warn people. But this is about flying over areas where, in that case, there's not many people there. In the hospital case, it's going from a high building to a high building and doesn't have to go down and interact among the people. I mean, there's always a chance it could fall out of the sky, of course, but it seems less than having to take off and land in a big urban area.
Yes.
Yeah, rural. I think for rural applications, it would be probably, make more sense, but.
Is that water you're drinking, Cole, or moonshine?
That's
gin.
Water, yeah. Yeah, just, swigging a few back for the road.
Over in Canada, you buy water in jars, apparently.
So,
it is a quirky little place.
Yes, it is. No, this is just, when you have, when you buy salsa or tomato sauce and it comes in one of these, well, you get a resealable jar if you clean it out good enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Recycling in action, everybody.
Better than plastic, I suppose.
Yeah. Try to reduce, reuse, recycle as much as we can.
That's good. I like that.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm missing flying, to be honest. It's been over 3 weeks now for me, and I just haven't had a chance because I've been so busy. And but now that the weather's getting nice, I'm kind of like scratching at myself, like ready to go.
It's too hot out here. We can't fly. There's no air.
The weather's been so hot. I was sweating in the field because one of the problems is I thought I was launching the wing and I had problems with it. So I was feeling where the wind was coming from. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to sit in the middle of the field, and there's no trees. So it's just me in the sun, and yeah, I can burn under a light bulb. So it's like quick,
Not
put all
another
the sun
Andy
lotion
RC.
on, and be very careful. But yeah, and today I was in and out trying to sort out the GPS problems with it, and just literally going outside, turning a wing on, trying to look at your laptop screen in the burning sun. It's like I can't see this, can't get the angle.
Possible.
It's just a nightmare. We do like to complain every single way about the weather. It's too cold, it's too hot. Where's the Goldilocks zone for us? We want it just right, please.
No, we are moaners, aren't we?
Yeah, it's the British way.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I've got to get everything ready for next weekend. So I think I'm going from Friday. Yeah, so I'm going Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday till halfway through the day, something like that. So I've got to get my roof tent on the van. I've got to get the cooler out. I've got to buy a solar panel ready to put down to charge my batteries in the back, so I can have a fan or a heater and charge batteries and keep my icebox going with food in it. Get some drones out that I haven't flown for ages. Check gear. It's going to be a lot to do this week coming, ready for that weekend. But even if the X-Class doesn't get to fly, it'd be good to see everyone again. And
what you could do is buy like a green all-in-one suit that covers you, run around holding the X-Class, and then take yourself out in post.
yes,
Green screen it.
I could do that.
Just shout, don't worry, it'll look great once we get it edited.
I saw a video of a guy with a basketball. He did something like that, like this amazing trick shot. And then but it looked real. And they revealed afterwards that it was actually just literally a guy with a green screen suit on, just running around through the thing, holding the ball, but spinning it at the same time, so it actually looked like it was going. And then, hits a crazy basket.
Right, that's what I'm doing.
That's it. I'll pay money to watch that.
Oh, we won't be seeing Caroline this year. No Wings and Wheels this year for me. She's having a week in the Lake District. Nice. But Numbskull's going to be demoing an APD build by the looks of it. Maybe Rich will turn up.
Hang on, what's APD mean?
I think that is APD electronics.
Ah. Remember to put a message on the video saying this is not a simulation. That would be good. That sounds like something you should put on all your videos. It's like the best review ever. You just say, this is not a simulation. This is real life.
Now, Richard Warwick will be there Saturday from the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's going to be good to say hello to everyone.
Well, you should do a vlog, Tony, and then we can live vicariously through your visit.
I will probably do a vlog type weekend thing as well.
Nice.
I should do.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I will do that. Because it's good to see anyone. And remember last year there was a guy in a wheelchair following us all around, Ryan. Now we've become mates, and he's got not in a wheelchair anymore. He had a broken ankle, and he's flying and mountain biking. So we've got a lot in common. So we've sort of become friends. So he's going this year as an actual. I don't know if he's flying or not. Maybe he will. I'll make him fly. I'll give him a go at the X-Class. I think the first ever Wings and Wheels I gave Kelsey a go with the X-Class. She flew it really well.
Yeah, I think she's fairly trustworthy to fly stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. She was good. I haven't seen her flying at all for a long time.
No, she posted an Instagram a couple of months ago saying she was just doing some flying, complete with new haircut and slightly different look.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like, it's, you
People
know,
go in
the
and out of
dreaded
stuff, though,
corona
don't
and
they?
everything, and you know, well, she's 18, so
Yeah.
it's busy in college and uni and stuff. But yeah, everything kind of died off for a couple of years, didn't it? While we're all going around hiding from people coughing.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Cool.
getting slightly back to normal.
Taz is going to be there. Taz FPV. Haven't seen him for a
Cool.
few years, so that'd be nice. See, this is what I like going. Even if you don't fly, you end up chatting for hours to people you haven't seen for a good
Yeah, I
couple
mean
of years.
that's why I always used to like an FPV meet. It was part flying, but mostly hanging out and catching up with people and seeing what people are up to. Always good fun, isn't it? To
Yeah,
see what
definitely.
people are doing.
And then a few beers in the evening, etc. Sitting around a campfire, all good. So good.
That does sound like fun.
Yeah, and I can take the dog as well, so she'll be there. She was a hit with everyone last year, so. Well, I've just said I didn't even say your name, and you've come down here. I said the dog.
You said the word dog. Where's my treat?
Yeah. What do you want? You're gonna get electrocuted under there. There's so many wires. Whoa.
And
Okay.
I think Frank was just talking about, like, there's a pop-up event coming up in August.
Yes, I
So
think there
there's
is actually.
at the moment there's 5-inch racing, but wings and X class still to be determined, whatever that means. And I went up to the last wing race event, and it was a lot of fun. And you were there, of course, Tony, doing your X class stuff.
Yes.
There were so
blowing
many
out,
crashes. It
catching
was so much
fire.
fun to watch. It's like there was a danger zone to stand in where there was a good chance you were going to get hit by a wing, but they're only foam mostly. What can go wrong?
Yeah, they're at Wings and Wheels this year, flying wings and stuff. So
Oh, that's cool. They do wing racing again.
yeah, they're doing that. I think the X Class has got two different tracks each. So there's a track Saturday and a track Sunday. I think there's the Australian on the Saturday, and then it changes to the Canadian track because the Australians flew the English track, which I think Clive made for them. Tell me if that's right, Clive. Oh my God, Dog, what are you doing? So yeah, there'll be two different tracks to fly, plus the Wing Boys flying, and then there's the Tiny Whoops again, and all that. So yeah, it's going to be good. And because I get there Friday, I'm going to go and look through all the junk and stuff to buy.
All the junk to buy.
Well, you can get there before everyone else, the crowds, and then go through and buy all the good stuff, and then leave the rest. So
Leave the scraps for the peasants.
yeah, exactly.
I like the idea of buying all the junk. And Richard Warwick there is talking about Drone Fest, which is also in August in Nottingham, which they're calling join UK's first dedicated FPV festival.
Oh, that might be good.
Cool.
So that is just in 56 days' time. Clipstone Colliery? Am I saying that right?
How far is Nottingham? Quite far, isn't it?
That sounds northern. Is that northern?
Oh, I'll probably get a stroke. If I go above London, I'll get ill.
Yeah. You haven't had all your shots.
Nil point. No shots.
It seems like it's in the north where all the crazy bandos are, though.
It is, yeah. They haven't got as much money as
down,
us.
down south. We like to build stuff. Up north, they're just like stuff, and there's all the slums.
Yeah, just leave it, let it rot, and throw the freestylers.
Oh, level with Birmingham. Okay.
What's that? It's about 2.5 hours away from me. But it's just it's a nightmare driving sometimes. I know this sounds. We're moaning about 2.5 hours. Cole's got his 3-hour trip to the dentist. If he has to go shopping, that's like a weekend trip.
Yeah.
It's normally only about a 2-hour drive, but at this time of day, it becomes a 3-hour trip, unfortunately.
Oh,
But, yeah.
traffic.
Yep. Tons of fun.
I might go
crazy.
to that. I'd like to look into that train fest actually. Oh, there's a thing there. I'll have a look at that in a minute.
There's a URL to check out. You can
Yeah.
definitely have a look. I have to say, I haven't been very up on shows and stuff this year. I'm not sure why. It's because I still feel slightly in limbo. I'm not used to like going places and travelling and meeting people. It's all a bit of a weird experience.
Yeah.
COVID literally turned the world upside down for bloody 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
People
Yeah.
are all still worried and don't want to do stuff, and yeah.
I literally had my first haircut, professional haircut, in about 3 years this week, which was weird.
Right.
It's always weird when you go into. Maybe I've just not been in a hairdresser's for a long time, but when you sit down and they said, "And what can we do for you today?" and I say, "Well, I figured a haircut would be what I'd
Yeah.
start with."
What
I
did
was
you
like,
say?
yeah, maybe I'll just go the Tony way and just
Yeah.
that looks easier.
It is easy, to be fair. I shave it off and then bick it, or
Save
I
a
bick it
fortune
every.
on shampoo.
Yeah, but it's quite expensive on razors.
There's
Do you
always
have
a
to
downside.
do you buy specific like head soap? Is that a thing?
Head soap.
Head soap.
Can we name
That
this?
sounds like a weird event. Like instead of a TED talk, you get a head soap.
Oh jeez.
No, just bald. Just bick it.
Yep.
It's easier. I have to wear a hat nowadays though because the sun's so hot and burny. I don't really
yeah.
burn, but I don't want to get in the future have anything
Just
bad.
to preempt Cole's question, is there special sun protection for heads, or can you use a general sun protection?
I just generally use a factor 50 on my head, and everything else is a factor 15, if you must know.
Does it make it more shiny when you put it on?
Well, even though I cut this is cut this morning, you can still see the hair. That might never go shiny like other people.
Buddy, my signal was on, bro.
God,
What
you
are
have
you
to get
doing?
down there. Oh, we're gonna have live crashing or live
We're gonna have some road
rage.
rage, but
Well-
Canadian style, where they're quite polite. Hey, buddy.
Hey, you! You nearly ran into me. Oh, sorry.
What's this all about?
Yeah,
My signal was on.
what's this, Hey, so I was just driving in my car, and I'm trying to turn here, and I was about to do it, and didn't happen, eh?
Ooh,
I
that's it.
like the South Park way of Canadians arguing, where it's like, "Hey, buddy, don't call me Guy. Hey, Guy, don't call me buddy." Repeat.
Oh man, that's classic.
That's
is
whenever
classic.
I know it's a Canadian, I'll wait them till they say out. Yeah, oot,
A boot.
Yeah,
oot.
I mean,
Apparently, they
I'm-
don't know they're saying it. They think they're saying about,
No,
but
no.
there's no telling them.
well, I am about to park my car
See? Yeah, but
because I have to step outside.
Well, look out for moose and people in plaid
Oh, yeah.
jackets.
it'll just be
Got
rude now.
my binoculars.
So,
Pardon me.
what else is going on? Tony, how are you going to get the X-Class flying? Because you haven't got a Jack, who would normally be your emergency build person.
I'll let Danny out from under the stairs again, so
So he's coming to do the soldering.
he's going to have a look. Well, all that's already been done at Martin's, like the main stuff. It's just taking the FC off and putting a new one on. And then putting my PIDs on it and programming it and all that, but oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's probably be there Friday testing it. Because I don't think me and Danny will be able to get anywhere. Maybe we might be able to go out Saturday. I've got a place in mind we could go. But yeah,
It'd be an
it's gonna
interesting one because occasionally you can build two quads the same and have put the flight control on and get PIDs that are right, and you put the exact same stuff on another quad, the same, and then it flies completely differently, just because of some little variances.
This is what I'm worried about.
Go odd.
If it flies like a bag of poo-poo, I'm going to have no time to tune it, because it takes hours to tune an X-Class sometimes. And if it doesn't fly good, I won't bother racing it. I'll just enjoy my weekend, help other people, etc. So we'll just see. Yeah. We'll see. But it does take a long time tuning, especially charging batteries as well.
Is there big ones?
Do they have just all field chargers, or everybody has to bring their own field charger kits? Or...
Well, there have some, but you've got to share them and stuff like that, and just an X-Class quad takes 8S. I've got to charge 2 3,000 milliamp hour batteries, so that's an hour.
Take a while. Yeah,
and they go pretty much down to zilch in your quick 2 minutes of flying.
2 minutes, 2 minutes. So that's you can probably fly it maybe if you're tuning it for 3 minutes, but you've got to try flying a bit fast now and again to see if there's any wobbles come out or anything like that on sharp turns and things like that.
Yeah. So. Wow, that's a lot of dedication. An hour.
Could take all day. It could take all day just to tune it. We'll see.
Wow.
They're asking in the chat what car you're driving.
Oh, me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Quick, Cole, pull over and show him the trim problem you showed us earlier.
Yeah? Okay.
He is good, isn't it?
He is as well.
I'll do it. So it is a 2021 Toyota Corolla hatchback. So
it looks really nice.
Let's see.
You just stopped in the middle of the road.
Kind of. So this is it here.
Quite a nice looking motor.
And there's got a thumbs up for all the audio listeners.
So a hitchhiker in the
car. But yeah, this is the issue. Is the little trim here? There's a gap which isn't supposed to be there. I'm not sure if it comes up. My screen is way too bright, but this is supposed to be flush, and it's already come off twice now. So it's an adhesive problem, I guess. But
have you tried some hot glue?
I have not. I'll be honest. No. I brought it back to the dealer thinking that they should have the right stuff for it, but I guess not.
That was unfortunate. And what are your flying plans coming up, Cole? Because it's the weekend soon. Have you got stuff to fly? Have you got places to go? Is it going to be a 3-hour trip to a field, or is it more local? Have you got a favourite field you'd use since you're a child and you don't like to cheat on it?
Well, not exactly. I mean, because I live in the city now, I can't really just, in a big city, I can't really just sort of hop in my backyard and send the quad out. But there's a few places nearby, like some parking garages on weekends that are usually, not busy, or where else? There's a couple construction sites I found recently, but the problem is that I typically work Fridays and Saturdays, so my weekends are kind of pooched. So Sundays are usually my flying day. So if the weather cooperates for me this Sunday, I'll probably go out, and I think I'm just going to try to find just a field, because I've been flying like bandos and construction sites, and I don't know. I kind of want to get back to just flying in a field and just kind of cruise around and see how that goes. But that's Sunday, fingers crossed for me.
Well, fingers crossed for Sunday.
I do like the fact that you're the polar opposite of us.
Weird.
Like, we're all flying in fields saying like, oh, I wish we had bandos and construction sites we could fly. And Cole's like, oh, well, I'm a bit bored of bandos and construction sites. What I want is a big grassy field with no trees in it. Just fly up and down.
Well, it's not that I'm necessarily bored of them. It's just that I don't exactly feel like fixing quads right now, or troubleshooting and fixing them. So the last couple months, I blew a motor, I blew an ESC, smashed a bunch of my HD cams.
That's
Just
the
kind of
worst.
the usual stuff. But yeah, there's something nice about having some open space where you can actually, full throttle and actually be able to, kind of throw the quad around a bit instead of being
Yeah.
like, okay, I got to be careful and keep every stick movement super precise and one false move and everything's broken. So
It's a bit more
yeah,
relaxing.
it is,
but you'd
and
be surprised what can catch you out in the field. Because have you ever been hypnotized by the quad shadow? I feel this
I
is like
have.
a syndrome. It's like I see the shadow, and you're just watching the shadow, and you go,
Lower, lower,
this is
lower.
so beautiful," and then you hit the ground. It's like the
Yeah.
shadow got me. It's like the
Yeah.
shadow siren. I'm going to call it.
Well,
Tempts
yeah,
you.
you cruise
Come
low
closer to
enough, and
me.
then all of a sudden, you're looking at your shadow, and then of course you don't see the little mound in the grass that just happens to show up out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, all right, disarm immediately. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we've all done that.
That's cool. I am. My plan for tomorrow is to attempt to fix the wing or find out why it's losing the GPS. I found an interesting problem today. I was trying to sort it out, and we've gone through like lots and lots of testing out on this board, and basically plugging it in, and you see like the flight controller gets 15 satellites. You plug in the pi end of things, it drops down, 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 and hits zero. It's like, well, I can't fly that. And I was like, oh, I need to put this on a Pi Zero and test that to see if it's the board problem, which has got the Pi Compute module, something else. And I found that the image file for the latest version of OpenHD had disappeared off GitHub, and which stopped me slightly in my tracks because I couldn't download it. And I found out, I did not know this, but GitHub can apparently delete binaries that are more than 2 years old if they feel like it. And OpenHD's binary was removed apparently for this reason, so I had to get it off somebody else, which I've just got now to test again. But that was a weird and interesting thing. What's really sad about the last release of OpenHD is it's like 2.08, and it was in something like 2020, and it says this has been the last release of 2.0. 2.1 will be out in a few weeks. It's like that was 2 years ago. Hurry up, get on with it. It's all gone a bit slow over there.
It's always 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to carry on doing that OpenHD or give up because there's better stuff?
They seem to still be active in it. I mean, there's a lot more happening now in terms of HD systems, but I think you could have something that was DJI standard and was free, and there'd still be some guy that's like, no, I'm gonna somehow install OpenHD on a calculator and to try and do it that way, because people are like that, aren't they? They just like to experiment and try stuff out. So I think it'll always keep going. And I don't know if it's lost a bit of its inertia. It had a sort of a couple of big developers that were sort of leading dropped out and were replaced by other people, but it seems to have not had much happen there for a while. But I'm committed to getting this wing flying. It's like it flew on analog. iNav worked perfectly. I just want to stick an OpenHD camera on it and have it work, please. And I'm hoping I'm going to find out what the problem is tomorrow, because I think basically we've been going through and troubleshooting to the extent that it's like unplug everything, put this on a separate power source, move that over there, do this, and the last part of this to work out where the interference is coming from is like removing the actual entire board from it and saying, I've got this Raspberry Pi Zero, I'm going to plug this in completely independently of everything and just hold it close to it and see if it makes a difference. Because the initial tests I did with it, which had the wrong version of OpenHD so it didn't connect, it worked. So I just want to try and finish that off and actually fly it, because as soon as I do that, then I'm going to go back to that quad I've got to install the bits and pieces I want to do on that and do something with it.
If you're flying tomorrow, make sure you stand under a tree. I think it's going to be 32 in places.
Yep. Yeah,
Yes,
33 degrees right now here.
Yeah, she's going to be warm on tomorrow, and then It's Father's Day, isn't it? Saturday, which I've only just realised. And then
Sunday. Sunday's Father's
sorry,
Day.
Sunday. Yes.
Ah, thank you for
And
that
then-
reminder.
And we got thunderstorms coming in. I think maybe, which would be nice to clear the air. I like a good old thunderstorm.
I'll be going to Barcelona, where there's a good chance I will fall off a Segway, because I understand that's what we're doing as one of the activities.
Oh,
That
nice.
sounds fun.
I wasn't scared of Segways until I started watching Fail Army videos, and I'm like, Jesus, what's wrong with these things? They're taking people out
Yeah.
everywhere.
I think they take a little bit of getting used to, though.
You just kind of have to. You have to commit to the getting onto it. I think is the main thing. I think people sort of step on with one foot and then kind of freak out, and then throws off the gyro in it, and then. Yeah.
I have an interesting balance techniques which starts off good and gets worse. So we did like stand-up paddleboarding. I'm like, oh, this is easy. And after an hour, I just fell off all the time. I couldn't stand up anymore. It's like it became a sit-down paddleboard at that point.
Maybe your because it's all to do with balance. Maybe your ears got, you lost your balance after. Because when you get sick, like I don't know if you get people get seasick, don't they?
Yeah.
After a while, and then you start, even when you get off the boat. Like I've been to Greek islands and done an hour's trip, and then you
start
get
getting
off,
landsick, don't you? It's like,
just
what's happening to the world?
I needed coffee. I can't get there. Yeah, that's probably what happens. But, Right, I think we've done our hour.
We've done an hour.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm sorry we
Good
talked about
for
nothing.
3 of us. I know.
But we've enjoyed Cole's driving around Canada, and apparently you can just stop anywhere there.
You stop
just in the
anywhere,
middle of
you
the street.
shout out, you lost your $5. You can,
That was the
See
world's
it?
most Canadian thing right there. Hey, buddy!
Hey kid,
$5.
you lost your $5.
Hey, thanks, guy.
Yeah. Well, we gotta watch out for our fellow Canadians out here. So.
Yeah, crazy. Hey, well, there you go. You've been watching Let's Drone Out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we might have Jack back next week. Cross our fingers, see what we do.
get well soon, mate.
We've been joined by Jack's wife, Toaster.
Bonjour.
I can't. It's reverse camera. We got Cole down there, still driving,
See ya.
taking that Toyota Corolla back to the dealer. Let's sort it out.
Yep.
Thanks
I've been
everyone
Curry Kitten.
for being in the chat.
And many thanks to our amazing Patreon people. And I don't know how to do the bloody ticker for it. Where are we? There we are. That one. There we go. They're appearing across the screen right now. And we thank you very much for it. And of course, if any of you guys can spare the cash, it really helps out. We pay someone to do the editing, and we then have to pay it to get the podcasts hosted and all that gubbins. I assure you, we are not living a lavish lifestyle off the amazing Patreon money and snorting cocaine off hookers and stuff as much
As Jack
we'd like
would
to.
say.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been us for this week, and we will see you next week at the same time.
I understand.
Well, I didn't ask you anything. Thank you so much. Sorry. That's my watch.
And
I
on
think
that note,
that is just a general thing about audio. Does anybody understand it?
No.
Not us. Anyway, we'll catch you next week, live here at 8 o'clock, Greenwich Mean Time or whatever, and see you later. Bye all.
bye.
Have a good night. See ya.
Bye.